got it. All right.
Welcome in, everybody. We're back. Another Skull Experience episode. After we'll try to bring some good vibes after an absolute butt kicking at the hands of Green Bay Packers, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, got another guest this week. We are joined by Sally. As we like to start out with our guests, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Let's bore people right out the gate with my intro. Hi, I'm Sally, also probably better known as Sal Spice. I am still the reigning queen of Vikings Twitter. That is my title. I'm just kidding. We'll get into that later, apparently. I've been around Vikings Twitter since 2009. So that is probably how I am best well known. But I do have two podcasts that I co-host. We do the Believe in Vikings on Believe Network. I do that with Dustin Baker, who I heard is going to be here next week, as well as Bryant McKinney. So that's fun. I've gotten to meet some really cool people through that. Randy Moss is one that definitely stands out. And then
good, right?
Amazing. And honestly, it was kind of tough. Well, I don't know if tough is the right word, but we had Randy Moss on, which is obviously like so surreal, dream come true.
Right.
The very next week we had on Troy Williamson.
Oh man. Talk about
yin and yang. Number 7. I actually saw him, and this is kind of crazy. I was actually working for a company called Daktronics that built the scoreboards for the Vikings. And I was there his last year, and we drafted him, and I was like, why did we draft him? He had stone hands in college. I hope he's not listening. Sorry, man. Motivational speaker now. You know, he overcame a massive injury when he was a kid. You know, made it into the league, but he was dropping a few balls. But 7th pick in the draft that year, so.
Right, and he was drafted to replace Randy, right? So that was an interesting transition to talk to him. But yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, Troy Williamson is one of my favorite guests that we had on that show, just for a lot of things that he talked about that maybe people weren't or still aren't aware of. He was super candid about, his career and his life. But yeah, so I do that podcast. I've done that for a couple years. And then I do another one called Sports and the City, which is on KFAN's podcast network. And that is, it's definitely sports focused, but it is a little bit more lifestyle, pop culture based as well.
Nice. Awesome. And then we also like to ask, how did your Vikings fandom start?
Yeah.
So I actually grew up in Richmond, Virginia. And both of my parents are from Minnesota, but I never lived there. They moved there before I was born. And so it's kind of just what I did with my dad. When we got DirecTV, I remember we got it during the 2000 season, I believe. So I haven't missed a game since back then. And really, it's the only thing I had in common with my dad. So I say that's where my daddy issues came from with the Vikings. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then, like I said, I joined Vikings Twitter and I started traveling to games by myself. And I've just met so many amazing people and built these friendships. And so in 2014, I decided to move to Minneapolis.
Wow.
And the rest is history. I'm just living my dream now, going to every game and
awesome,
all that. So
nice.
Did your Twitter handle start out as a Vikings back in 2009? Did it start out that way as a Vikings Twitter handle? Your Vikings fan?
That's just a nickname that I've always had, Sal Spice, since I was pretty young. But it's always been pretty Vikings focused. Okay. It's an outlet for me. Growing up, like I said, in Virginia, I didn't have any friends that had that as a hobby. And, this is before fantasy and everything. So no one's keeping up with what's going on in the Vikings back in the early 2000s. So it was kind of, this is going to sound dramatic, but it was kind of isolating that was something that I was so into and I didn't have anyone to share that with.
Mhm.
So when I did join Twitter, that wasn't necessarily what I was seeking out, was that community, but that's definitely what I found. And I couldn't be more thankful for that, because, if it wasn't for Vikings Twitter, I would have never moved to Minneapolis or had this great circle of friends and opportunities. So
Right. That's awesome.
definitely changed my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to do some shouting out here real quick to the people listening. Grandizer 12. Thanks for jumping in here. The Skull, the Viking song here. I am the life. The Packers game is kind of funny to me. Why they would lose? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what was going on in the Vikings' heads when they decided to lose that game.
And why did they decide to do that?
Dude, I don't know. That was the stupidest thing they've done all season. By
Sally,
far.
were you at the game?
I thank God did not go to the game. I was planning on it, for a while, several weeks. And because when I went in 2017 season, when they shut them out, the tickets, I paid $25 and I sat in the second row on the 50-yard line. So I was having that in mind of how things were going to be.
Yeah.
So when they weren't eliminated, I was like, it's off my shoulders. I don't have to revitalize Green Bay's economy. It's going to be fine. So I'm going to stay home.
Yeah.
And thank God I did.
Right.
You're super Will.
That was
Thanks for joining us, man.
Yep. Super Will. Thank you. Y Troy. Bryant McKinney is that dude. Bryant McKinney, is he that dude?
Oh my gosh, Brian McKinney is the biggest party animal, social butterfly, and
That's awesome.
He, keeps in. Obviously, he went to the University of Miami, so he just has so many awesome connections.
Yeah.
Famously, never gave up a sack in college. I live in South Florida now, so and then obviously a Vikings fan, so our left tackle for a good 10 years, so that was awesome.
He won't let you forget that for sure. And never missed a game due to injury. Won't let you forget that either.
That's awesome.
This is my father-in-law, Javier Cabillas. So anybody know Spanish? I
don't.
I still haven't picked it up.
I took 3
but
years.
I think it's salute from Panama. My dad, he lives in Panama. So thanks for watching, Papa.
We got Rap in here. Rap, how are you? How's it going?
Rap's
my co-host for another show on another show, The Skull Live. You can check him out if you have a chance. Purple Pocket Podcast. He's doing great things. I call him Purple MLK because he's bringing all the fans together.
Yep.
We got Viking Jerome. Being a Vikings fan can be life changing.
What's going on, Viking Jerome?
And then we got Paul, a guy who has gotten 3 cards off me and Jamie the last 3 weeks because he's really Paul, thank you for jumping in. We appreciate it.
No, actually, since you bring that up, maybe at the end of this show, we will give away this Justin Jefferson rookie card.
Oh boy, look at you!
Might as well give it a shot, right?
We got a
good guest. We got a good guest, so let's.
And Sal, you're actually being aired on 2 channels right now: Minnesota Sports Talk and GG Sports Podcast.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. I hope I don't let you down and it's entertaining. But that's very cool that you guys do a live show.
I do a live show normally on Tuesdays, and my co-host on that show is actually really jealous that he actually is probably. I think he says he met you once at a game. Is Justin Day? He's on my other show. We do Under the Lights.
I thought it was Justin. I have known Justin for. Over a decade. Yeah, over a decade.
I've known him for 4 months, probably. I don't know, 5 months.
Wow.
These months are moving along quickly in this Viking fandom circle here.
He's got his own podcast now, Purple and Gold for Days, and then we air a show Under the Lights, Under Mine. He's got to interview Chuck Foreman now, Paul Krause, and Greg Coleman. We haven't got Randy Moss on there. Maybe you could throw in a word for him, and I'll just surprise him for his birthday.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's a tall ask, but I could try. Troy might be a little more obtainable.
Yeah, I mean, Justin did not tell me that he known you that well. I didn't in 10 years, huh? That's great.
I mean, yeah, we met in person in like 2013 for the first time. We've met a lot.
That's cool.
But I guess he didn't want anyone to know.
Well, I don't know. He didn't want to brag. I guess he knew at Sal Spice.
Yeah.
There we go.
Long time. I mean, we don't have to talk about Vikings Twitter forever, but I mean, it wasn't a very big community when, we all started out. So, I mean, Justin's one of the oldest, Ted Glover, who I saw you guys have linked up with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are my boys from back in the day. So
we actually made special. We normally do on Tuesday. We had him on Monday. We worked our schedule so we could get him. It was pretty awesome. He was fun.
Yeah, I love Ted. He's probably my favorite person. But I mean, he's too shy to come to a game and hang out in real life. But that's okay. It's not for everyone.
I don't know. Is he a bigger Ohio State fan? Or is he a big Vikings fan? Well, he doesn't do a podcast about Ohio State, so I guess the Vikings won.
Yeah.
Good point.
Speaks for itself.
I really wish we had a more exciting Vikings football game to look forward to this Sunday. Like, I don't think I've ever not looked forward to a game. I just can't get myself up for this one.
You almost want it over with.
It really is kind of meaningless. You don't know what they're gonna do. I hope they don't play any of the starters, but it sounds like they're gonna. It's against a Chicago Bears team that's nothing to play for. They want to lose. No Justin Fields. I don't know. Can anybody find anything to be excited about for this game? Because I'm grasping at straws and I'm just
I mean, we talked about it in our podcast that some of these young players you want to see more of. Jalen Naylor, he had his first touchdown last week of his career, so it'll be nice to see him. Ty Chandler. I do think even if we bench our starters or do not play our starters often, I think Madison will still continue playing, but I do hope we see some more Ty Chandler since we haven't been able to see him since the preseason. So a lot of those young guys, and like you said before too, there is still a chance at that number 2 seed if somehow San Francisco can lose to Arizona and we still beat the Bears. Small chance, but there is a chance. That's all that really matters. So who knows? Maybe there's more to look forward to than we think.
Hey Jamie, can you put up rap to Yo Dave? What's up with that jersey?
Oh yeah.
So we're giving away a Chuck Foreman autographed jersey. The contest is over. I did not announce the name. The reason being is I got to go back through all the shows, get all the names, because unfortunately my wife dumped out all the names out of the hat that I had them in. And because I don't want to see if we lost, I didn't want to lose any of the names. I have to go back and write them all back down on a piece of paper and put them in the hat again. So I will announce the winner in one of my live shows one of these days. But we still haven't given away the Chuck Foreman 44 jersey. Not too late to go in or go on my old videos and hit subscribe, like, and comment, and you can enter to win the Chuck Foreman autographed jersey.
Perfect. It's not too late to enter, huh?
Yeah, go back to my old videos. You can still get in.
So Sal, what do you think about this game against Chicago? Is there anything in there you're looking forward to, or do you think you're just ready for jump right into playoffs here? Or what are you thinking?
Well, as Casey said, he can't remember the last time he didn't look forward to a game. I can remember it was the last game of last year against the Bears. That really wasn't anything to look forward to either. I'm so sick of them being the last game. Can we rotate it ever? I'm kind of with you. There's not much. I mean, seeing more of those players that you named, of course, but you always then worry. You just don't want anyone to get hurt, right? Especially after, we know Chicago's field conditions are never good. Green Bay gave them a run for their money last week. But I'm kind of been in playoff mode for a couple weeks now. Mm-hmm. It's disappointing to most likely be out of the second seed. But let's just get to our home playoff game and see how that goes.
Right. And it was announced today, according to ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter, backup Nathan Peterman will start in place of Fields for Sunday's game versus the Vikings.
Yeah. So do you think if we do not play our starters, I think our starters will probably play for like a drive or two. After that, I definitely see us bringing in our backups. But do you think our backups could still beat a Chicago Bears team with Nathan Peterman as their quarterback? The guy who has the most interceptions to start a career in NFL history.
I would say absolutely.
Yes, they should. I never feel comfortable about the Vikings against a backup quarterback who has basically no name. I never feel good about that.
Yeah,
but this season, they haven't really struggled with those like they have in decades past. But yeah, I mean, what does he have? One start, and I think he had 24 yards or something along the lines of he shouldn't be able to get anything done. And there's not any weapons really wide receiver wise for Chicago either. So,
but we've heard this story before. Like, oh, we should be fine against this team. This quarterback ain't gonna do anything, and then they
get 400 yards or at least 300 yards against us.
45 for 50 completion percentage.
Yeah,
that's this year. But yeah, I don't know. There's not too much for this game, but the one positive thing though is every single game this year has been a roller coaster. And since other than our bye week, it's going to be kind of nice to go into a week where we can kind of chill out a little bit, not care about too much of what's going on in that game, because going into playoffs in that first game, I mean, it could be a wild ride. Hopefully we get deep into playoffs. Hopefully we win a Super Bowl. And if that's the case, it's not going to be easy. And it's going to be probably the biggest roller coaster. This has been the biggest roller coaster season I've ever witnessed, I think, in my life.
Yeah.
Just every single game's a roller coaster. So I imagine playoffs are going to be exactly the same, especially if we go deep into it. So kind of need that little break before we go deal with that, I think.
And last week was like type of roller coaster where it's like it gets up to the first slope, you go down, then it just stops and you're stuck there for 2 hours while they repair it. It's that type of deal.
Just never. Every game we lost this year is like that.
I know, which is really frustrating.
And isn't San Fran playing a later game than us? They're like playing at 3 or
Yep. Which
which is nice. If we win that game, then they gotta try really hard to win that.
There's one good thing that came out of that Packers loss, though. It is the fact that the Packers will most likely have to go to San Francisco week 1 of the playoffs, and they never win there in the playoffs. So it was good to see them get embarrassed again. It'll be kind of funny.
Yeah, I had a Packers fan on last night. I had a random Packers fan on last night, and he said, I had him talk about the game. He was, he was nervous about the Lions game. I said, then you go and play San Fran most likely. And he's like, oh God, he was like dreading the fact that he'd have to go lose the San Francisco 49ers for like the umpteenth time to knock them out of the playoffs. So.
But it won't be Garoppolo, and Garoppolo is the slayer of Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. So that's concerning.
Purdy, Brock Purdy's from Iowa State, or he was an Iowa State quarterback. So you wonder if he grew up hating the Packers. Hopefully, I don't know if he's from Iowa, but there's that chance that he doesn't like the Packers. So maybe that will have something to do with it, and maybe he will go out there and destroy if the Packers make it. And let's Rap says this Lions gonna win. Let's switch to that, because there is still an important game this week. And it is the Lions versus the Packers, and we really need the Lions to beat them.
Rap's a Lions fan now.
Casey's a Lions fan too.
Yeah,
Aren't we all?
Casey's our closet Lions fan.
I'm not a Lions fan.
Well, I mean, how disappointing is it though that they flexed that game to Sunday night? It's honestly kind of infuriating, because if Seattle wins earlier, then the Lions have nothing to play for. So they're probably not going to give it 100%. And that's not so unfair that Green Bay gets that possibility.
Yeah. Well,
it's unfair, but not surprising.
Yeah. Unfair, but not surprising.
Not surprising at all, but there's more entertaining matchups. Like put the Seattle game at the primetime game.
That was dumb. I mean, unless obviously if Seattle loses, then there will be that. I mean, at the very least, it's still the Packers. Anyone in this division, we love to see the Packers not make playoffs. So at least we have that. But yeah, obviously that extra motivation of having something to play with for would have been a lot nicer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but what do you do? The NFL wants the Packers to make the playoffs. Us Vikings fans, you just got to live with the fact that you're never gonna get rid of them. They're like that bad cold that just won't go away. But
yeah, you're probably right. Although I hope after the Rodgers will move on, but probably not.
I know, especially with all this hype. Like just 4 weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers might as well have just already left the building, and now all this hype's coming and. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Go ahead.
I would say I listened to Packers Wine Line. I have done that for years. Don't usually have as many opportunities as I've had this year, but they are just so crazy. I mean, they all wanted Rodgers off the team. They want him retired. They want him benched. And I haven't listened to it the past few weeks because I don't want to torture myself, make myself sick. But it's just, they are just the most spoiled, arrogant group of people on the planet, I think.
I would agree with that. I think that's a very accurate assessment. I went to high school with a friend of mine that was a big Packer fan, and I'm surprised he's actually calmed down quite a bit. In high school, we'd get in a lot of intense arguments, but now, like beginning of the season, I didn't even razz him that much because I didn't want to be mean. But when I did, he took it like a champ. And then he didn't even turn around on me after this last game. I had to text him and just send him crying emojis followed by oof.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, not good. That's
just sending out the text before like other people send it to you first.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The
exactly. 8 mile. It's the 8 mile move, you know?
Yep.
Do it in the first play of the game. Oh, we're gonna lose.
Yeah. just talk shit about
bases.
myself just so it doesn't hurt as bad when someone else does it.
What are some of the games? You live in Minneapolis. I'm gonna be jealous of that because I moved away when I left college. I went to University of South Dakota, moved to Florida, moved around, back in Florida. I haven't got to too many games. So what are some of the more memorable games that you can recall that you attended?
Oh man, I mean two. Okay, one. My favorite game was at Lambeau 2015 when Teddy Bridgewater had the touchdown at the end of the game, pretty much to win the division. That was so memorable to me and so fun because it was, beating the Packers at home and it came down to the wire. And it was just the best, most fun night for me ever. Mm-hmm. And then number two would be also against the Packers, the opening of US Bank Stadium in 2016, because I probably speak for all of us, but I was so upset when the schedule came out and they were going to open they were going to open the stadium against them. And what if they win and how terrible that would be going forward. And it was just, there was so much anxiety surrounding it. And then, Teddy went out in, what was that, like a week before the season started. And and it was just like so much anxiety. And that game came down to the very end as well. And so for them to pull that out, it was just so exhilarating. And just like all of the stress that I've had since the schedule came out in probably April just left. And it was just so fun.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want a Cowboys-Giants situation where the visiting team wins the first game in the new stadium and then pull an Eli Manning and sign the wall, said Eli Manning, winner of first game in AT&T
I didn't
Stadium.
Even know that.
You don't want that to happen.
I didn't either.
No, Rodgers would have done something like that.
You would never have heard the end of it, not only from him, but their fans who come over here, and you would never heard the end of it. And it was just such a disgusting feeling just hanging over that was a possibility for all that time. It's like, I guess, the Vikings kind of played down to their competition historically. So who knows whoever it was, if it would have been different, but if, just thinking about it possibly being them getting the first win, it was a lot of stress. So.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. What do we got?
Even the Vikings have never won a Super Bowl, but they can win if they want to. We have all seen that.
That is true.
Well, especially this year, but
there's a meme going around that we're either gonna win the Super Bowl or lose by 40 in the playoffs.
Barely win the Super Bowl. Last second field goal.
Last second, fourth quarter comeback, Super Bowl victory, or we're gonna lose by 40 in the first round.
I'll take that, please. Yeah. I'll take
it. Yeah, Sally, you mentioned that they played down to their competition. They also seem to play up to their competition most of the time too. And that's why it's like you wish you could just see that consistency all throughout a game.
Right.
Obviously this year against Buffalo, they started out slow, but at the end when they needed to play well, they picked it up. That's why it's like that in the Packer game. I was telling my friend who's not a big football guy, we were at the bar watching the game, and I told him, I'm like, if they get this to a 2-score game by the fourth quarter, I'm in. They have a shot. If it's not, then they're done. Like if it's if it's anything more, if it's 21 points, we're out of it. And sure enough, it was quite a bit more than that when you got to the fourth quarter. And yeah, that's why I drank a couple more beers and left. But
shout out to Sodak Kid. Us South Dakota boys need to stick together. His hometown, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, home of CJ Ham.
Hey, chill.
Okay,
no.
Let's bring
me and Jamie got this rivalry. I say CJ Ham's the Augustana boy. He says because he went to high school with them in Minnesota, so I call him a South Dakota boy because he went to college at Augustana. So
nah, he's Duluth, Denfeld Hunter all the way.
northern kid through and through.
Yep, northern Minnesota.
All about the north.
It's cold, but whatever.
Well, going into the season, where were you at on the team? What was your outlook? What were you thinking was going to happen?
So I had a win prediction of 10, which is high for me. Honestly, I felt very uncomfortable saying that. I have been correct on my predictions for the 3 years previous to that. So it felt weird to say, but honestly, I mean, I'm glad I was wrong. For sure. I mean, I always want to be wrong in those types of situations.
Right.
I just didn't think that there would be a big enough of changes to the roster and, first year head coach. And with Aaron Rodgers coming back at the time, I mean, they've won the division so many times since he's been there. I was thinking they would probably get a wild card and, play one, maybe have one win if they were lucky, but probably not. So I couldn't be happier with the way that it's turned out. It's thankfully been a very exciting season, one of the most fun that I can remember in a long time. So, it's fun to blow teams out, of course, but it's not as well, I don't even know how to describe what's been going on.
Yeah, it's like nothing's like.
I feel like we've been playing with house money.
Team. Like the feeling of coming back on a team and winning, it's like that's like the craze. Like especially the Colts game, like that's insane. Like after that game, you're just pretty much speechless. Like even though we've been doing it all season long, there's just something different about that than just blowing out a team. But sometimes it would have been nice to just kind of have that week where we just blew out a team and didn't have to deal with that roller coaster of emotions every single week.
Yeah.
But
I found the excitement in this Bears game since you started talking about records. I had a 13-4 prediction before the season started. There's a video on our channel to prove it. So I need that win just so I can say that I was right. Because
Jamie had us at 17-0, right?
Yeah, I thought I was closer than people thought I would be. But
for sure.
He was being.
People are saying, "Oh, there's no way," but hey, you're so closer than you thought. I still have us winning the Super Bowl.
What a homer!
Yeah, no bias at all.
I don't know how serious you were, but that was
bias.
before I even
met
you.
I wasn't serious. I made it to be funny, but I agreed with the 13-4. I'll just say that so I can be right too potentially.
I had 12-5.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No.
I had our floor as 10-7 though. I had our floor as 10-7. So,
Dave, I think you're.
I had 12-5, but I had our floor as 10-7 and our 13-4 as our best. I actually had us pick losing the Packers in the Bears game because I thought we'd had our whatever position and playing them late in the season like that. I think I had us losing to the Bills and we beat them, and I think I had us losing to New England because it was prime time on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's always tough.
And there was one other game. Oh, and Philly. I had us losing to Philly, and I ended up being right on the Philly game. And
I was surprised by that Philly game because
everybody, but
I believe I picked them to win the Philly game because I had thought that if they beat the Packers, they were going to beat Philadelphia week 2, and then we just don't play well in Philadelphia. I guess I don't know.
I was just thinking road game.
It's a hard place to. It's a hard place to play. You got to go do your job with a bunch of assholes screaming at you all game long.
I don't know. We might find out again this year, but this time we're taking it.
I've always said
need
the
it
best
back.
thing.
I want to take out. Oh no, the Packers aren't making playoffs, but the Cowboys and the Eagles
One Pride
want to go in there.
Hashtag One Pride. I said that a couple
Welcome
times.
Welcome to the One Pride podcast. Our closet Viking fan, Casey.
Lions fan. Skull Lions, right, Casey?
Skull Lions.
But yeah, I was really actually devastated in February when they extended Kirk Cousins. I really I know I'm in the minority on that opinion, but I wanted to drive down to the stadium and jump off the roof. I was so upset because I haven't been a fan of it since the beginning. I just didn't, I never understood the signing. I didn't feel like I could go into why I didn't like it, but I thought, okay, we have Kwesi and we have KOC. And so we have fresh eyes looking at it, and they're going to evaluate it, and they're going to, see it the way I see it. And then when they didn't, I was just like, I can't do like 3 more seasons of mediocrity. I just can't. Yeah. And I didn't understand the whole competitive rebuild narrative with then hitching your wagon that direction. Again, I am wrong again, and I love to be wrong, and I love to admit that I'm wrong, and I've definitely turned the corner there. I think obviously having a new offensive scheme, having a head coach that is a former quarterback, play to his strengths, and I think the confidence that he feels in playing for someone like Kevin O'Connell, as opposed to what he has dealt with pretty much his whole career from his coaching staffs, it's made all the difference, and I've turned the corner there. So I'm happy. Big Kirk Cousins gal now.
Yeah. No, that's
I actually seen an Instagram photo of you lying on top of like 100 programs of Kirk Cousins. Did I see it? Was that planned? Like it was Kirk Cousins, so you're gonna lie on all his picture?
Well, I'm the only person in my friend group who was not a fan of Kirk Cousins. So it has been an isolating 3 years. Because I feel like I can't really even express myself because they kind of all gang up on me, and not in like a mean way, but when you're the only voice that doesn't really agree. And I was sitting with some of those folks, and there was a whole box of programs, and they beat the Packers convincingly. And so I was in a tremendous mood, and I thought, well, I'm just going to take this box of programs so I can start my apology tour.
So that was after week 1? That was after week 1 you took that photo? Okay.
Yeah. And it started kind of as a joke because I didn't obviously think that was going to continue and be a theme of the season. But maybe I set the tone with that photo shoot. I don't know.
Well, you're not the only detractor that's on this show right now. Jamie at one time was he was thinking the same way.
I was on your side in the offseason 100%. I was not happy with the extension. And I can say that I'm not 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Jamie needs him to win the Super Bowl. I need him to win the Super Bowl for I'm totally on board.
Yeah, all right, I think we're feeling the same way here, Sal.
I don't think you are. I don't think so, Jamie. I think you're wrong.
No. She just said right. You just said you agree.
Listen, he's still not. Is he who I would want them to? No, but realistically, I don't think that it could possibly get much better for them. I do think that they need to draft and that they need to try to work on that position for the future. But hey, that's the theme of our lives as Vikings fans. I think that he's done tremendously better. The offensive line woes that are now look like they're going to be pretty permanent are terrifying. But unless they had somebody like a Jalen Hurts, though, I don't see that not being the situation for almost any quarterback.
Right.
So is he like my dream come true? No, for sure not. But for now, I think at least he can make them competitive and they can win the division. And that's really all I can hope for. Sorry, I have this dog that will not stop.
You're good. You're good. I think for me, I just need to see him play the kind of the way he has all season, but I want to see it in playoffs. I'm not, there's been too many times I felt like anyways in his past season where he just has these really bad games, and not good moments. So I think, a lot has changed. I'm like you, where I definitely am way more of a believer in Kirk Cousins this year, but I kind of feel like I need to see that go into the playoffs to be 100% committed. I know our guy Rap that we've been bringing up here, Purple Pocket Podcast, well, he's completely changed over now.
No, he's not. You did not see our
most recent
post game.
Maybe he switches.
Yeah, you didn't see our post game on Sunday, man. No, it was 2 hours of hate. It was 2 hours.
I'm not ready to. I don't think that game was all on Kirk Cousins or anything. At this point, Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, this year, he's the reason why we have made all these comebacks. Like, I feel that way for sure. Up until this year, I didn't even know he had something like that in him, especially that consistency. Even though I know Dave has his stat with having the most comebacks since sometime or whatever.
Well, last 3 years, but he's got the NFL
but it's all has to
record
be
right
this
now.
year. That's all.
Yeah.
Most of it's
well,
this year.
3-4, and it should have been 6. Defense giving up late points, but yeah, 3-4 and now 8. So he's like the leader in that. But I was a detractor when he 18 and 19 because he couldn't come back. It was like he'd get the ball late and strip sack, or he tried to win it on. He would get the ball, and he would try to win it on second down and throw a pick, or he tried to win it on and he would scramble out of the pocket and someone would strip sack him, and the game would be over. Same kind of thing was happening in 2019, but I turned the corner after Justin Jefferson finally got to play. What's with not starting Justin Jefferson over BC Johnson? I
forgot about that.
So we start this season out bad, and then basically he pulled us to 8-8, or I think it was 8-8, wasn't it? Or we pulled us to 500 at one time, and then there were, if you go Google MVP Kirk Cousins, all these 2019 start showing up, and that was statistically his worst year for us. Or 2019, but then 2020, it was pretty. He had a pretty good year, and he started having, starting to be pretty solid. Defense was terrible. 2021, same thing. Defense was terrible. Had a pretty good statistical year, made the Pro Bowl, and then this year, I think he's kind of. I think we unlocked him getting to the line with 15 seconds to go rather than hiking it with a second on the clock, right? I just think we're able to make adjustments. We're able to read the defense better, gives them more leeway on what to do. I just think, Kevin O'Connell was a big reason allowing Kirk Cousins to just feel a little bit easier, not get yelled at if he throws a bad pick or something.
Yeah. So that's why, Sally, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on the head coach. Like initially when we hired him, and then kind of up until now, because Jamie and I were kind of big in on the Harbaugh news when that was a thing. But after that kind of went away and you heard that Kevin O'Connell was the favorite, I started looking into the guy a little bit. And so far, I think he's been the absolute right hire for a long-term team. I think, and we've talked about it on me and Jamie and Dave have all talked about it, where I think he's got a ways to go as an offensive play caller, I think. But as a head coach, I think he's just got that right mindset, especially for today's day and age with these younger players. I think sometimes, which I saw an interesting comment from Crown here about the cleat thing from last week. I think sometimes he gets a little bit too player friendly to where in this situation, when he knows what the field's going to be like, I think it would have been on him just be like, guys, here's what we're doing. We're not slipping on this field. But it ended up being a lot of negative plays. And just tell them this is the cleats you're wearing. Because he said we never force him to do that. But I think in times like that, you need to. So I think he has ways to go in certain aspects. But overall, I think he's been the right choice. Well, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we cannot blame equipment guy. He told them what cleats to wear.
Exactly.
So Crown Jewels, love you, but we gotta keep him on staff.
He had notes on the lockers saying,
Crown. It was not the equipment guy.
No, it wasn't. And you're right. Maybe Kevin should have stepped in and said, no, you're wearing these shoes. I mean, unless I've blacked it out, I don't remember Green Bay's field conditions being historically that bad. I know Chicago and Washington are. Yeah, Chicago and Washington usually are, that's their trademark. So I don't know if maybe they didn't expect it. But yeah, I pretty much agree with everything that you said. It was kind of a whirlwind with the coaching search, just feeling like you were missing. I don't remember who we interviewed before and they took another job before the Harbaugh situation, but there was a lot going on and I wasn't super familiar with Kevin O'Connell either. All I knew was that he didn't call plays in, LA for the Rams. And yeah, they won a Super Bowl, but it was, Sean McVay's offense. So, okay. And then the other narrative was that he had worked with Kirk Cousins before. And it was like, well, yeah, but how successful was that really? I mean, I didn't really know how to feel about it. And that's kind of how, so I completely agree with you. There have been some, 2-point conversion things that I've
some short yardage plays. What?
Yeah, there's definitely been some things that if Zim did it, I would completely rip him and tear him apart. But it's a first year situation. And as far as being the right coach for the job, I think that he's perfect. I don't think that it's, I know that there are still some older coaches who can identify and get their locker room fired up, but I think those are few and far between at this point. It's another generation. They communicate differently. You just have, I mean, they respond completely different. Let's be real. So, and he's obviously gotten them very motivated. And to go with Kirk again, I mean, he wasn't even allowed to call a timeout before. That's how little trust was in that offense previously. So to have a guy that wants you to be successful, that says, I know this doesn't pass in the hall and say hello thing is really made fun of, but when you know you're going to be in the doghouse and be ignored for weeks, if you're a person that has anxiety like me, just feeling the energy of that is weighs on you. So
I mean, Brian O'Neill comes out and says something that's kind of you know, a little bit telling. I like how definitely. KOC turns into Oprah after big wins. You're getting a game ball. You're getting a game ball. Everybody's getting a game ball.
But I love that. I love that energy though. Like that's huge.
And I feel like I've had a hard time identifying with this team on an emotional level since Kirk Cousins came in. Really, I mean, you never saw the personalities and the excitement and the celebrations and those things that really get you feeling emotionally attached to them as a fan. That's obviously not a requirement, but when you just kind of look at it and you're like, okay. Whereas now I feel like they're just so much different.
Dude, the Kirko thing, like the whole Kirko thing and the chains thing, like that was just huge as far as the that emotional attachment to this team this year. I felt like, and I wish it would have just kept it going. You know,
I think that's Zimmer lets that on the plane.
No, and that's the thing. Like you said,
I think they said Zimmer had rules about what you could do on the plane rides. Just nothing. No
I think KOC's kind of rolling his eyes about it too. Like, I hope people aren't realizing that I'm letting them do whatever they freaking want on that. It's gonna make me look bad, but
it's good. Man. I mean, that gave that analogy, that positive vibe within that locker room. You know, that's one of those things that just brings up.
Well, I mean, it's all it's all about morale. Like we've all we probably had a job where at one point you had a boss who just like no fun at all. And then you have then you go to a work environment where like people still get their job done, but like my job now, like before I worked in a grocery store, it was even in like management circles, it's still just like shirts and ties and all that type of stuff. Now I can sit at a computer in jeans and a hoodie and do my job there. Like it's just feeling more comfortable in your workspace. And like my boss is awesome now. Like every time, he's super, super nice guy. It's a well-run company, that type of thing. It's like when you work in that type of environment, it's easier for you to go to work and do your job, and that goes even more on a, especially with sports being as emotional as they are, like it goes on a much higher level in a sports environment. I think so. I don't know. And that's going into the Kirk conversation. I think that's kind of where he's stepped up big this year too, is like he feels wanted on this team now. Like he feels like he has a coach who wants to help him. I mean, hell, we almost saw a fight between Cousins and Zimmer last year, which
I think that was a real thing, man.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't
really think. See what we can do now,
Yep. But it's just it's all just a big morale booster when you have a coach that actually seems to give a shit in a different way. Like Zimmer gave a shit, but he just did it in a different way.
I think also Paul Krause said the same thing, that Bud Grant, right? He says it's a different game, they're different players, they needed a different mindset, and Paul Krause not a big fan of Zimmer, he made that clear, but that they make a good point. And even older players like themselves back in the day were he didn't allow heaters on the sidelines on the home games. I mean, it was crazy. Now, and then you saw him in 2000, was it 14, 15, I think 15, Seattle. Bud Grant comes out short sleeves in the third coldest game in the history of the NFL, just to show he's still tough. you gotta love it. But even these players that played under those conditions and loved it and thought it was a home field advantage said, "Hey, we need a coach. These guys needed a different coach." And I think that's what we got. And I think our outlooks, I think he's a 15, 20-year coach, man. If we would have got Harbaugh, we might have got a better defensive coordinator. We would have got Fangio probably, but it might have been a good thing for 2-3 years. Yeah. This is a 15, 20-year hire.
Hope so.
Yeah, we had Mike Tice on Believe.
Oh my gosh, you got all of them. That's awesome.
I love Mike Tice. Like, I'm a Mike Tice apologist.
Yeah.
But even Mike Tice is a player's coach, right? Like, he's not as, rah-rah as maybe a Kevin O'Connell or something like that, but he's the same kind of personality where you can tell that he genuinely cares about his players. He's going to hype them up when they do well. And when they do something wrong, he wants to help them fix it and learn from it. He's not going to ice somebody out. However, he even said that he has no interest in coaching anymore. And the reason he kind of stopped pursuing it is because he can't even identify with these guys anymore. He can't communicate with them. He says that, players don't want to be coached in the same way that I know how to coach.
Right.
They aren't necessarily as open to listening as they were when I was in the league, and that there's all of these different distractions that I don't understand. I don't understand Instagram. I don't understand pushing your own merchandise brand. And because of that, like, I've kind of lost my touch in that way. So for even a guy like him, to say that, I thought that was really interesting.
And it's going to get worse with all these college players that are making $10 million in college right now with their deals they got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But
yeah, that's an interesting thing. I personally don't have an issue with the whole college NIL deals and stuff.
I think they should definitely make money out there.
If someone's using your likeness,
you
should get paid for it. And honestly, they killed the NCAA football game, which was so awesome.
And now they're bringing it back.
Now it gets to come back, so that's cool.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Those games are always fun.
Yeah.
We're starting to get some dead silence here. So
no,
what's your
silence?
So
what? Say something else, but
Jamie, take over. Jamie, it's your turn.
I forgot.
I mean, yeah, we'll just get this thing to the end here. We got this Bears game. Generally when you go into a week, there's something to play for to some extent, and this is one where we do not. So I think we go into score predictions, even though we don't have a lot to play for. We still have to have some sort of score prediction here. Any other predictions? Sal, we'll start with you.
Do you have a weather report?
I
think the wind, it's the Windy City and all of that. I don't know. I gotta consider those intangibles in the situation.
Because 36 degrees and partially cloudy.
Wind 5 miles per hour.
5 miles.
Yeah. So ideal conditions.
Ideal.
Okay, that's great because maybe Greg Joseph needs
if it was 50
bounce
degrees,
back.
it'd probably ideal.
Yeah, we need to give Greg Joseph as many kicks as possible in this game.
Just to be prepared for outdoor conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like he was probably on cloud 9 after the Giants game, and then probably took a little self-esteem decline after last week. But I think that was a lot to do with
it's like, it's not that way. It's not that way. It's that way,
When you see
that way. Straight.
The potential game winner in that Ohio State versus Georgia, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really bad kick. So
and I guess they said he kicked the ball as soon as the ball dropped in New York for New Year's or something like that.
They kicked the ball.
Oh yeah.
First thing that happened in New Year was Ohio State kicker just shanked it.
That was funny.
And
hey, put some of these up here. Rebecca Mello. This is a coworker of mine that I just started a new job. I left my last job. I used to work with Rebecca. She was awesome. She's came on to watch me today. That's awesome. Thanks for showing up.
She must miss you.
Apparently.
Already.
She must miss you.
Olsen's, we appreciate it.
Go ahead, Sally. What were you going to say?
I appreciate it.
Do we know what the Bears situation is? I know obviously Fields isn't starting, but are they planning on starting their other starters? I tried to read up on it before we got on here, but
Like-
I didn't see. I didn't know if you guys knew anything.
I think they will. I mean, we know.
Yeah, like who's first team on who's first team on the Bears? Everybody's kind of a backup.
Everyone, yeah, everyone's already kind of back. And I don't know if Casey mentioned in this one, but they want to lose this game because they have a shot at the number 1 overall draft pick still.
Could you imagine what they could get in a trade for that? Because they're not going to use it. They'd get a killing for that.
Yeah,
pick.
I know with Bryce Young, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Him coming in here, and obviously they're not moving on from Justin Fields yet. Yeah, Justin Fields had a pretty decent year.
Ryan Poles might want him to lose the game, but that doesn't mean that,
right.
I'm still waiting for him to win the North and not give it back yet. I don't know about you.
I would say it might have been coming, but Detroit is stacked with Vikings draft picks for a while, so
Right.
I think they might be the favorite to do all that now.
That's what the Lions owe us. Lions need to win this game this week for
They
those
do.
steal of
They're
a deal
indebted.
that we gave them last year. Other than the Hawkinson, I'll take the Hawkinson thing.
Yeah,
They kind of
made it up
a
for a little bit
us there. But
Well, that's what we say now, but we'll
yeah,
see.
we'll see. Yeah. We'll
how
see.
that goes.
I don't know. Now I'm like, man, it makes me wonder what the trades were during when we traded back from 11 to 32, right? I wonder if Rams first overall or first round pick the next year was potentially in that trade talk. It
That'd
could
be
have
nice.
been. It could have been.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because and then now what the Rams are like pick number 4 or 5 right now. Like I bet
True,
you
if we
that
would've- if we would have got that one, yeah.
if they would have, I
Yeah.
bet you that was on the table because the Rams just came off a Super Bowl.
probably yeah. Oh yeah, because you're exactly right. That is the situation. They will get that pick. So they
Yeah.
have at least 2 first rounders. They have at least 2 second rounders because they got a second for Hawkinson, and then they might even have 2 thirds. I'm not positive. So
Probably.
and their first round picks their picks from this year are looking pretty good so far.
Mhm.
That's another problem the Vikings have right now is their draft class. I
This
know
one's
that there's
not-
injuries, but we haven't really seen
No pun.
much.
No pun
Not
intended.
to no, I didn't even mean that.
No. Wow.
That wasn't on
Did she
purpose.
say
We
seen?
definitely
You haven't
didn't see
seen?
much at all.
That wasn't on purpose.
Well, hey, I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm
hope
big fan of Jalen Naylor, and he showed out late in the game. This last game, he's got 5 catches on the year for 5 first downs and 1 47-yard touchdown. And that guy that missed him had 3 picks on the season. So he's not like he was the cornerback was not the starter, but the safety was. So I'm really big on Jalen Naylor. I'm big on Ty Chandler. I think he's our starter in 2024. We got a starter in our right guard, and Asamoah is getting a lot more playing time, and he's the heir apparent.
Yeah.
I loved Asamoah in the
These
draft.
later picks are actually kind of looking good. And Ed Ingram, I think, is going to solidify. He's just going to get more experience. He's going to get better. But yeah, Andrew Jr., Lewis Seen, injured out for the year.
Caleb.
Who knows
Evans
what we're going to
stepped
get
up.
out of them? But Evans looked promising.
Injuries.
So I'm
Yeah,
not
well-
nearly as down as some people on this draft class. It looked bad earlier in the year, but towards the end of the season, now that some of these guys are getting playing time, I'm liking it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Dave, on your guys' show, were you and Ted saying like the Vikings only have like 5 picks this year in the draft? Is that right?
He said that. We never looked it up. I can't remember, but that might be right. But I think we might have got. I would have to look.
We'll move around. I'm sure.
Yeah, we both agreed that we'll probably end up with 10.
Yeah,
We'll probably get
No
more
first
because
round. No
I
first
think
round.
he's gonna
Yeah.
trade down, try to accumulate picks because we got a lot of guys. I think we're gonna be making decisions on.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting offseason.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys making a
this
little too
Super
much
Bowl.
money for the way they play.
Right. And looking at the way this team is built now, like that competitive rebuild is looking true because we're competitive. We got 12 wins right now. And you can see the parts of the team that are going to need to get flipped with age and draft picks in the next couple of years.
And we got guys behind them.
Yeah, me and Jamie talked about it after the draft. Like they drafted a lot for replacements. They took Lewis Seen, who he's probably
That
going
was
to
like
Metellus is on the team.
The thought is he would take over for Harrison Smith. You draft 2 corners because Patrick Peterson's aging out. Plus, you need depth. You get Asamoah, who might replace Eric Kendricks in a couple of years here. So definitely some draft picks that you're starting to see like the thought process behind things, especially when you see how this defense is played. Just realize that if you're going to stick to that 3-4, you probably don't have the right guys for it. So it sucks to say because there's a lot of big names that I don't want to see go, but at some point,
one name that I do think we're going to see go is Donatel. So it'll be interesting if he takes the 3-4. If he takes that 3-4.
Where do you feel on Donatel there?
Well, I'm sure I feel the same as everybody. There's not a lot of wide opinions on him. I will say I never really understood Kevin bringing him on in the first place. I know that he doesn't probably want to go young across the board because, you need some experience on the coaching staff, but just going on what we said as far as communication styles and him being an old school guy and really wanting to introduce a brand new scheme to these guys when there were a ton of veterans, on the defense. I just didn't really ever understand the pairing to begin with. And I don't know. I remember roasting Donatel and making fun of him when he was in Green Bay for a long time. So I don't know. But
what about Mike Pettin? He was a Green Bay guy. What about Mike Pettin? When he was the D coordinator for the Packers, he was the 3 NFC title games in a row.
I thought they didn't like him over. I thought Packers fans didn't like Pettin.
Well, there was some play in the playoffs. That's true. There was some play in the playoffs they blamed on him and they asked him out of town, but they went to the NFC title game 3 years in a row and the defenses were pretty good. Mm-hmm. And he's probably the sole reason. Well, they're a little bit because of Zadarius Smith. He changed Zadarius Smith's career coming in, made him all over the field, made him outside linebacker, moved him up and down the field, and he had his best years under Mike Pettin. And then that's one of the guys he gave credit to, the reason why he's a Viking now. And he's just sitting there. But hey, we could shop around this off season, but we still have Mike Pettin in the fold. We got options. I like having options.
Definitely. Definitely.
Always good to have those.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's off of a Super Bowl win. And, at that point, I don't even care what people do. Just give us a Super Bowl. It's all about.
Will you get a Kirk Cousins tattoo?
Ooh,
I mean,
whoa,
there we go. I like
Kirk Cousins tattoo.
I mean, you went from same feeling
I still
as
think
me,
we're gonna
not
win
liking
a Super Bowl.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if he makes that,
man, if
Kirk
do a poll on your Twitter.
If I should
do a poll on your Twitter channel or handle.
I've always said I would get a Vikings. I don't have any tattoos. Okay. I would like tattoos.
You will now.
I'm too indecisive to get a tattoo. Whatever. Mm-hmm. A Viking tattoo is one I would get. I was always one of those people. Many people said I'll get a tattoo if the Vikings ever win a Super Bowl. But yeah, I did say if Kirk Cousins plays well in playoffs, I can bring me up to that 100%. If he wins a Super Bowl, yeah,
you get a tattoo of his face on your face.
Yeah, I want one right on my forehead. Just
they'll make you look like him. Like they'll
you want me to look like Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Jamie, you got to get you like that tattoo on your arm.
Yeah, well, that.
I would do that. Like if I had a Viking tattoo,
a neck tattoo,
you like that on the bottom of it. Yeah.
What
no
about?
regrets.
I just had this idea.
Okay.
What about a Norseman wearing the skull chains?
That would be pretty sweet.
And that can just be like an ode to him.
I would do that. Something with chains. That would be sweet. I actually really like that idea.
And you could just put like an 8 on the chain and a skull on the chain or something like that, So I would never get like his
face.
I'll
never get his face on me. I can't do
it. Hey, Justin.
This is Justin Day.
Justin, I just heard that you said you've met me once.
No, I assumed that you met him at a game. Okay. I didn't say how many times. I did not know. He didn't play up that he didn't name drop on me. You should be proud of him for that. Yeah, he says he knew you, and I assumed it was at a game or something. But Justin Day, if you could, before we finish the season, come on my other show with Justin Day. I would appreciate that if it's not too much trouble. I'll reach out to you again, and we'll get you on Justin Day's channel.
Mid-February when we play our last game.
Right before the Super Bowl. No, I'm gonna get you before then.
The day before I get my Kirk Cousins tattoo.
Yeah, big question. Would your wife let you get a Kirk Cousins tattoo?
I think she probably would of his face. Probably not, or his name.
Not bad, but
because I wouldn't get anybody's name on tattooed on me. So I think maybe she'd be like, Kirk, you got a name tattooed on you and it's Kirk Cousins' name. That might get me in a little bit of trouble potentially. So I think the Kirk Cousins name thing's off the table. His face, I think, is off the table.
How about the chains though? Would
The chains thing,
be on
I
the
like the
table?
chains thing. The chains thing is awesome.
Would
That
the
would
wife
be
let that
super
happen?
cool. That's actually a super cool idea. I almost wish we didn't talk about it on here because now everybody's gonna do it. If we won the
You're
Super
right.
Bowl, having even the Vikings logo would change or something, it would just reference this season so perfectly that
Right.
everyone's gonna do it now. We shouldn't have said nothing because we're winning.
Well,
this
Everybody's
season.
gonna follow you, man.
I know.
Damn it! I don't know why.
Maybe
now
I just
regret
risk
saying
it and just get
It
that
just pains
tattoo.
me.
I get that tattoo right now and take my chances.
What?
Sally, would you tell
No.
Justin Day that I did not throw him under the bus? That
No,
I admitted to you that I didn't know that I didn't take it out of that you guys were like really knew each other. I had no idea.
No,
he didn't
Jesse
name
had no
drop
idea.
you. He says he knew you. He met you before. I had no idea that you guys knew each other that well. He didn't brag about it. So
No, I wasn't saying he bragged about it. That's not what I meant. I meant that
Yeah.
I was offended that he acted like he didn't know me that well, saying you
he
only
did
met
not.
me once.
He did
But-
not. I didn't want to make it sound like that.
But
He's
then-
sensitive. He's a sensitive guy. I mean, I
I
don't know.
know.
I know.
he is.
Yeah, there's the truth, Justin. You're sensitive.
No, Justin. No, like I said that we've actually you're one of my oldest Twitter friends, so of course
There
I
it
would do that
is.
show. Yeah, the tattoo thing. So I have one full sleeve of tattoos, and then everyone's always like, "Well, are you going to do your other arm?" And I always say, "No, that's my Vikings Super Bowl arm. That's what it's for."
Yeah.
And everyone laughs, and so now I think I kind of would have to do it. But I mean, I might be like 90 years old getting it done, but
Yeah,
I
hopefully,
am a man of my
I'm
word.
cool with that. Anytime, I don't care how old I am. If we win a
Did
Super
But
Bowl,
Did
I
you ever
won't
come?
be doing Kirk Cousins' face.
And maybe you already are, but I don't know. Did you ever contemplate being the Vikings World Order?
Yeah, before I moved here and before I understood.
Oh, I have no idea. I just
Oh,
met them. I met Dr. Death, I guess, at the Miami game, but some of them were pretty
Yeah.
cool. Some of them were pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's an off-air conversation.
Okay, I won't go there.
Some of them are very nice. Some of them are very nice. Yeah, but yeah.
All right, we never got around to those score predictions for this
Yeah.
game, so
We didn't.
let's jump into that.
That's better than the controversial subject. Let's see. I don't know. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. It's who knows what to expect from this game. So I'll just throw out maybe let's do a 24-10.
Oh,
Right.
okay, that's close.
That's
Me and
funny.
Jamie kind of
Yeah,
discussed before this. We had 24-14.
24-14, our second game of the year that we won by double digits, and it's going to be from our backups against the Bears.
So it's the Mullins 27, Peterman 10. There you go.
And do they even? I mean, Simeon's on IR. Who would even their emergency quarterback be?
Well, I think Mullins led some blowouts in his career. That's why I'm going blowout. 3 scores.
Is there a backup for Chicago?
That's what I was just thinking. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if something
Oh,
happened.
Probably Montgomery would probably just be a
Quarterback.
wildcat quarterback all game
Wildcat.
long.
I mean, it would be. I mean, that's pretty much what that offense does anyway. It's just runs the ball.
But is he
the quarterback.
playing? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I wouldn't
true, yeah.
play him.
Oh, did I call him Dr. Death? Sorry, David Michelson. Sir Death. You're right. My bad. You're right.
You're setting all of the stories straight today.
Yeah, I'm.
I know.
So how many times have I stuck my foot in my mouth with you since the beginning before the show to now? It was it 5, 10 times?
No, 0 times.
15
No,
to
it's just
20.
my
0
awkwardness.
times.
No,
It's just my
you're
awkwardness.
good. All
We're
right,
all a
here.
little
I
awkward.
And
wanted
anything else to talk about this upcoming game that I have no excitement for?
Oh, Jamie wants to
I have
give
a
away
little bit of
cards.
excitement for
Oh,
this
yeah, there
game.
you
I
go.
think we still have a chance at the number 1 seed, no bias. So yeah, I'm gonna give away this Justin Jefferson rookie card. So everybody in here, the only rule is to subscribe to our channels: GG Sports Podcast, Minnesota Sports Podcast. Sal, what was the ones that you do?
Just follow me on Twitter.
Just
Sal
follow her.
Spice, or Instagram. You can find it from there.
Follow Sal Spice on Twitter, subscribe, all that stuff. Like I said, let me get this thing up here see how this will work. I don't know how it will work with
It's our first time doing this.
It's our first time doing it with multiple streams. I've done it before.
He's Allen Iverson. Practice.
All right. So to join this giveaway,
hashtag
cool. Skull in the comments. Let's get him.
I didn't even know you could do this.
Hashtag
I didn't
Skull.
either. I gotta get StreamYard.
We've been practicing with it recently, but it will only work if you guys enter it.
They just
hit enter.
Hashtag Skull.
Hashtag Skull. That's why I have to put hashtag Skull in the comments to win a Justin Jefferson rookie card.
I'm gonna quick put hashtag Skull on another account. I'm kidding. Oh, there's one.
There we go, Justin.
Keep it going.
Come on, keep them going. Hashtag Skull. Justin Jefferson rookie card.
We still got people listening.
What's that?
14.
14. All right.
Yep.
We got one. Hashtag Skull. Damn it.
There's 14 people in here. You don't want to win Justin Jefferson rookie card?
You tell me you 14 people don't like free shit? Like, come on.
Come on. Anyways, Skull. Hashtag Skull.
Yeah, just tap dance for a second. Maybe they're, like I said, maybe they can't type on their phone.
Casey, do the gritty. Casey, get up, do the gritty.
Got two on their headphones.
Yeah, do the gritty. I have no gritty.
Casey will do the gritty.
No, we get not happening.
I'll try. I'm. There we go. We got 3. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I don't even know what to do. I'm doing it. I'm trying my best.
I got 4 foot of space here, so I can't.
Y'all don't have a lot of room. I guess Casey could do it. He's got some space.
Casey.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Casey. He's got a whole kitchen.
Not yet. No practice.
I'm gonna practice.
You could even hold on to the counter and practice.
All right, come on. Hashtag Skull. Let's give this a shot. There we go.
Hashtag Skull. Oh, they're at 5.
All right, we got 5. All right, I'll wait to 8:11 Central Time, and then we're just gonna run it. I'm cool with 5. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hashtag Skull.
That's a pretty big prize, right? How many of those have they made?
Of this card?
A lot.
I don't know. I mean, you guys
it's quite a bit. There's quite a bit.
Card guys. So
yeah, this isn't numbered.
Guy. Anything that's not numbered. Hey, next year we're thinking about getting a autographed Justin Jefferson rookie card to give away. We're trying to figure stuff out. We've started doing this card giveaway thing. We're gonna make it like a thing, I think. So we'll keep it rolling. All right, let's run this thing. 6 entries, good enough for me. Let's do it.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. Love it.
And we got Michael O.
I was hoping Purple Yoda. I want to know who Purple Yoda was.
Yeah, Purple.
Hey,
Michael O. You have to be subscribed to our channels, GG Sports Podcast, the Minnesota Sports Pod or Minnesota Sports Talk. Follow Sal Spice on Twitter. Michael O, if you will follow us on Twitter at GG Sports Podcast or on Instagram at GG_sports_podcast, hit us up in our DMs on there so we can get the information to your mailing address and we will get this card sent out to you right away. Congratulations, man.
All right. Well, hey, that worked out pretty well, actually. So,
all right.
We had no people to do one of those. A lot of times Jamie and I don't, but hey, it is what it is.
All right.
Any other thoughts before we sign off here?
I'm good, man. I want the playoffs to start. I want everybody healthy. Damn it.
Yeah. You guys must have there was bots in there. Maybe Justin. That was the problem.
Michael saying it's rigged. I don't know.
Everyone knows bots are
rigged like
that's all right. We accept as long as your bot subscribe to my channel, we'll take them. Whatever. More subscribers, I'm good with.
Gotta get those sub bots in there.
Yeah. You're the one doing it, not me. I'm cool with it.
Exactly. They probably exist. They exist in all forms. I've done a lot of bot research in the past week and a half, and they exist for everything.
Yeah. Oh, we never got into that.
We never did talk about that, but
yeah. We'll save it for next year.
Yeah, we can. And it's an off-season story, right?
Yeah, we got
for sure. When there's nothing else to talk about, we got to drum up some fun controversy.
Exactly. Which is when it should have been scheduled in the first place. But
that is true. That is true.
You have to admit, though, YouTube user, if there was a bot, this would be the name, right?
That is very true.
Bot.
Skull YouTube user, though.
Not enough underscores and numbers, but it's a good. Maybe it's an old school bot.
When we bring on Dustin next week, just in case, I'll send you the StreamYard too if you want to do a surprise appearance while he's talking to us.
Is it on Wednesday?
Yeah.
It's
same day.
It's later in the evening, right?
Yeah. Oh, is it at like 9?
Oh, you know what? You're right. We're doing it at 8:30.
8:30.
Well, perfect because 8:30 your time. So yeah, because we finish Believe at 9:30 Central, and I'll give him like 5 minutes and then I'll crash. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You can definitely.
Well, I'll send it just in case. There's no obligation, but I just think if you wanted to jump on, you can. I mean,
we'll probably.
I'll let you know if you want. If you want to jump on, you'll appear. He'll let you on if you want to.
No, we'll see how.
We'll have him address the bot situation.
I'm very upset with him right now. However, he does so much for me that I can't really stay mad. Like I use his tailgate pass, and like I just had to get him to pay for one for the playoffs. And I mean, I pay him back obviously, but I can't stay mad at him for too long. But I can call him out.
Awesome.
That'd be great. Sounds like great content to me.
It was great to meet you guys. I would love to come back anytime.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Please do.
Yeah.
And I need to follow all of you, but you don't have it in the podcast bio, so. Maybe just send me a DM or something.
So no, I'll post our show through Twitter and Instagram. I'll tag you in both those posts.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll see your personal handles on there?
We should have ours in our description, right, Jamie?
Our personal handles on Instagram.
I got 2. I'll ping you on the other one.
On Instagram. My Twitter account, my
just
personal.
Respond to a tweet. Just tweet it at me and I'll follow it. Because I can't spell. So
No worries. We got you for sure.
Okay.
Right. Oh, and I sent you the link from here for my channel if you want to share it. If you pay us that honor.
Where is it at?
I think I added to our last tweets.
Oh yeah, I just saw
DMs.
it. I would have posted it earlier so that more people would have watched live, but I didn't see it till just now. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did it when I asked you before the show started.
Yeah. We'll get you in here again, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
we'll get all that stuff rolling, man. The Viking family sticking together. Best fan
You're a
base
Duke Shelley stan. I see that.
Duke Shelley's.
Yeah, he's showing up, man. He's showing up.
Yeah. Favorite player. Well, second favorite player, right?
Favorite player of all time. 3 weeks ago, starting 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Anyway, Sally, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Bye.
See you next week.
Go Vikes.